Hello and welcome to another episode of the Family Gamers Podcast. This is episode 407.
Hello, welcome everybody to another episode of the show. We are the Family Gamers. As always, I'm your host Andrew, and I am joined by my lovely and wonderful wife Anitra.
That's me.
And episode 407 is going to be something that we actually preempted with, favorite Andrew games because of my birthday. And so we've had this one on the list for a little bit. We're going to talk about our favorite 15-minute games this week. So like shorter games, stuff that we're using. I don't necessarily want to say filler, but I mean, certainly short a filler time. Style game.
Just short time.
Fit, but short time games. So it is episode 407. I have been looking for a fact for a while. I tried really hard to find something that was not just a ridiculous Guinness Book of World Records fact, but that's what we've got. This one is for Zach. Are you ready, Anitra?
Sure.
I went with the dumbest one I could find because I gave up on finding something serious.
Okay.
On November 15th, 2012, a new world record was set in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
You can always trust those Philadelphians. 407 people at St. Joseph's University were flapping their arms in unison. Setting a record for the most people flapping their arms simultaneously at one time. If you hate this fact, I'm sorry. But that's what I've got.
Now I just have a mental image of like a football field full of people flapping their arms.
Honestly, that probably makes a lot of sense because when the Patriots played the Eagles in the Super Bowl, I don't think they do this anymore, but that was like the Eagles' like little victory dance thing was flapping their arms.
Sure.
So the fact that this arm flapping situation happened in Philadelphia might not actually be too far off from the football field thing that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Well, I have a message from our sponsor.
Probably a little more relevant.
First Move wants everyone to know that having a successful financial life isn't complex, but it does require discipline. Here are the basics. Create a budget. Track your income and expenses to understand where your money goes. Cut unnecessary spending and prioritize savings. Build an emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. Save at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in case of unexpected emergencies. Pay off high interest debt. Tackle debts with the highest interest rates first to reduce financial stress and save on your interest payments. Invest wisely. Start early, diversify your investments, and don't fall for get-rich-quick schemes. Compound interest will work wonders over time. Educate yourself. Stay informed about personal finance. Knowledge is power. Remember, small steps today lead to big financial gains tomorrow. If you want to talk to someone about the finer points of any of these, or if you need help getting unstuck in your situation, go to firstmovefinancial.com/familygamers and set up a time to talk today.
Thanks so much to the team at First Move for sponsoring another episode of the Family Gamers Podcast. So it is the first podcast in October, which means we're going to talk about what we've been playing. And of course, that also means we are going to discuss the September monthly report.
Sure.
But let's get started with some games. Let's start at the top with a game where you and I sat down and played like 5 times in a row and you whooped me every single time.
I think it was 4, but sure. We are continuing to play more My City. I think our verdict is still the same as last time we talked about this. Like, it is a perfectly fine tile laying game. The legacy component of it means that it's never the same game twice. Like, literally, the rules change a little bit every single time.
But I think that makes it interesting. I think it makes it really good, and we have a good time playing it. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. And with 2 players, it's extremely fast.
Yes.
We also have continued to play some more Hamster Roll. This and Drop It, which are also on the list, are games that I really do just love to like pull out and show people because they're pretty instinctive on how to play, like what your goal is and what you need to do, because they're dexterity games where you're just trying to put stuff in what you hope will be a good place.
Mm-hmm.
Still really fun. Still really enjoying those.
Mm-hmm. We played some Trio.
We did.
I mean, we've talked enough about that game.
Yeah.
We actually also broke out Red Letter, Yellow Letter with some, I don't want to say new friends. They weren't new friends, but new to our open board game night.
Yes.
Yep.
Had a great time. This has been a very enjoyable party game. I think Red Letter, Yellow Letter kind of distills a lot of what makes a party word game fun into a very manageable package. We will be reviewing that real soon, but that's the Cliff Notes. If you like party games in general, I think Red Letter, Yellow Letter is an excellent one to try out.
We also pulled out an oldie but a goodie in Space Team.
Oh my goodness. I was prepared for the chaos. I don't think I was quite as prepared for, I don't know, the
loudness. It's the loudness.
The unpredictability of like the people who were the most focused on getting stuff done. In the end, it didn't actually matter because they didn't have any helpful parts in their stack.
I mean, that's just random, whatever, assignment of the cards and all the pieces of the ship. But Space Team is a really, really fun cooperative game where everybody is working through their own deck, basically, of mishaps or of issues that they've got to fix or solve. And embedded within those, there are 6 spaceship cards, and the goal is to get all 6 of those spaceship cards, put them together in the middle. It creates like a little picture of a spaceship. And when you do that, you win. So, yep, we had fun with that. After that, we pulled out the heaviest game of the evening, which was Quacks of Quedlinburg. And it's been a really long time since we've played Quacks. I don't think we've played since we bought the fancy modern Meeple Lazy Susan thing.
We have, because that's why Asher wanted to print a slightly different insert to fit 2 of the little book cards in.
Okay,
in
sure.
one.
Yeah, but it's been a long time.
But yeah, we haven't played Quacks a lot recently because, I mean, it is what it is with all of the other games we're trying to play. It's a really enjoyable game every time we play it.
It is.
Every time.
Yep, we had a lot of fun. You've been playing some Solo Ink?
Yeah, I've been trying some more Ink. Solo Ink is really hard. Almost to the point of wondering if I was doing something wrong, but I've looked up some rules and I'm like, nope, it's just supposed to be a hard puzzle if you're playing solo. So that's fine. Ink is... I don't really know how to classify it. Like, it's a puzzle tile laying game, but it's one where you have a remarkable amount of choice based on the way it looks. This doesn't feel like a Carcassonne or something where, you know, oh, well, you're going to take whatever tile this is, but then you can choose what you're going to do with it. Instead, you have a ton of tiles to choose from, but all of them are going to kind of have pros and cons. And sometimes the con is just, this tile is going to require me to move way around the little rondelle that I'm choosing from. Maybe that's going to be worth it for all of the benefits it gives me, but the further you move along the rondelle, the closer you get to a relatively minor bad thing happening to you again and again and again.
Right. Every time you complete a revolution.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a really interesting balancing act. As with a lot of these more strategic kind of games, playing the solo mode makes the balance that you have to strike more obvious to me. It doesn't necessarily mean that I get any better at it, but it means that I feel like I understand what the goal of the game is a little better. So I'm looking forward to playing that some more with you and hopefully at, more than 2 players as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really nice game. I think that was kind of my feeling the first time that we played it. Was like, it was just nice. It was a nice little puzzle. I didn't feel like it was the kind of puzzle that was a solvable puzzle because there's enough randomness in it. And I like that spatial puzzle bit to it.
Sure.
We've continued to play Duel for Cardia. You've played a lot more of this than I have, but I have played some as well.
Yeah, I've been playing a bunch of it on Board Game Arena.
It's really fun. Really like it.
It encapsulates all of the things I like in a card dueling game in a remarkably small deck and like a really quick to get started kind of package.
Would you say it takes less than 15 minutes to play?
I would say that it takes less than 15 minutes to play.
I mean, hypothetically.
Yes. Hypothetically.
All right. We brought some games into the friendly local game store. They do actually buy used games there, and we got some store credit. So I picked up a couple of games, and one of those games I actually sat down and played that night, which was Bomb Busters. So this is a game that caught my attention for 2 reasons. Number one, It kind of looks like a Micro Macro style game. It just has a similar style. It was published by Pegasus Spiele. But number 2, it was nominated for... It didn't win the Spiel, I don't think, but it was nominated for the Spiel.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And so I figured I had a chance to pick up a copy, and I did, and I played it with Claire, who was long-suffering and dutiful as a daughter, and played a game of it with me.
I played it with Elliot, and he seemed to enjoy it, but he did not want to play anymore.
That's how Claire was with it, too. Yeah. So Bomb Busters is a game where you are cooperatively working to snip wires and defuse a bomb. In the first mission, there are actually 66 missions in the box. They get progressively more complicated. The first 8 of them or so are basically training missions that layer on all of the rules until you then kind of get into the thick of the game. And in the first mission, you are trying to create pairs of blue wires so they could be considered snipped, I suppose. There's a bunch of rules around identifying numbers on the wires. So you're trying to create pairs that are the same number, and sometimes you have one and your co-person has another one. And, I played it 2-player. You also played it 2-player, but this does go up to 4. And so you are trying to
I believe it goes up to 5 players.
I don't know. It goes up to more than 2 is really my point. You're trying to deduce which numbers each person has. So you're pointing at something saying, I think this is a 3 or something like that.
Yeah, you're looking for matches of the wires that are in your hand.
Yeah. That's essentially the goal of the game. And it was very simple in the first mission. We're definitely going to play some more of this. I don't know, it was interesting. I definitely could see as I was playing, I was like, okay, I get why people are saying that this is good. I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, speaking of good games, on our date breakfast this week, we grabbed Jekyll vs. Hyde and played more of it, and you stomped me this time.
Yeah, you played right into my hand on that one. But, is this the game where I win more than you do, but I always feel like you win more than I do or something?
I win more than you do, but not by the margin that you think.
Okay. All right. I knew there was something about this game that I couldn't remember quickly. And the last game on the list is the game Ham Helsing. So this is a game from Fireside Games that has been long in development. It is based on the famous book series about Ham Helsing Vampire Slayer. It is a cooperative game that goes all the way down to 1 player, goes up to 4. I played it solo. I played it wrong solo. When you play it solo, you're basically supposed to control 2 characters, and I was only controlling 1, and it was way too hard. So I really can't judge it based on that because I played it wrong. Mm-hmm. But just kind of projecting out what I think about what I saw, it feels a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. And
that happens sometimes, especially with themed games.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of references. This is going to be the kind of game where if you are a fan of the Ham Helsing stuff, you're really going to enjoy a lot of what's in the box. There's a few games that we've played where, we played the Adventure Zone role-playing game where we weren't really huge Adventure Zone people, but the premise looks interesting, and we played it, and it worked really well. This is a game where I think the game is fine, but it's really going to shine if you know the IP.
Sure.
So, I mean, we need to play it more, obviously. I played it the one time, and I played it wrong, so it would be very unfair for me to say anything definitively about it. But, I didn't see anything in the rules that, really blew my mind. The coolest thing about this game, I think, is that there are items and upgrades and things that you can buy that are all clear cards, and you slide them in front of your the cards that are in your deck because everything is sleeved out of the box. Well, probably not out of the box. You probably have to sleeve them when you first get it, but it ships with sleeves and it's designed to be used in this way. So that's kind of neat. It allows you to really build up the cards that are coming up. It's a deck builder, but you're building up the deck. The cards in the deck are evolving and growing as opposed to just adding more cards and calling weak ones, if that makes sense. So that's kind of an interesting, slightly different way of doing this, but that's pretty much the only novel thing going on here. Again, we'll play this one some more. This is a game we have in for review. I mean, I think the whole Ham Helsing thing is pretty charming and very spoopy. It's a good spoopy game for a spoopy season. So, we'll get some more plays of that in and then talk about it a little bit more.
All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. So those are the games that we've been playing. We kind of went through that a little bit quickly, but I think a lot of these are games that we've played before.
Games that we tend to talk about a lot.
Yep. So now it's time to talk about our monthly report. Anitra, are you ready to talk about September?
I am ready.
Okay. Well, my basic goal every month is to play more games than there are days in the month. And in September, I was successful. I played 32 games.
All right.
13 unique games.
All right.
In the month of September.
I played 21 unique games for a total of 43 plays.
Mm-hmm. Did you dime anything?
No.
Okay. I have 9 plays of My City in September.
Correct. I also have 9 plays
well, it's because of you and me.
Because we played it together.
Yeah.
But I do have an H index of 4.
Oh.
Because I have 9 plays of My City, 6 plays of Mr. Postmouse's Picnic. I think play 6 was when I finally managed to win.
Yeah. That's a lot of solo, right? Fair amount there?
Yeah. 4 plays of Duel for Cardia and 4 plays of Trio.
So I have 6 plays of Duel for Cardia in here.
Okay.
And I don't know who else I would have played it with, so I think
probably
that's
Asher.
I don't think so. I have 3 plays of Mr. Postmouse's Picnic. I also have 3 plays of Trio. So I have an H index of 3.
Also good.
Mm-hmm. Immediate preview, by the way, my October is looking bleak. I already am under. It's only the 4th on the day that we're recording this, and I'm not at 4 plays. So,
well, I think I have a 15-minute game to show you when we're done recording.
Not tonight. Maybe tomorrow.
All right. Interestingly for me, much more of my games than usual were at only 2 players. Over half of my games were at 2 players.
I had 66% of my games at 2 players, and then 22% of my games at 5 players. And then the rest of it is in between. I also played 84% of my games at home in the month of September.
Sure.
And 16 at restaurants. So that's all of them, which means I didn't record anything that I played at QsCon in the month of September.
Did you actually play games at QsCon?
I played a couple things.
Okay.
I mean, I played...
So that skews your stats then if you didn't actually record anything.
Look, we both know that I miss stuff.
Yes.
Because I'm there for the people.
Yeah.
I'm a man of the people, Anitra.
Sure.
Any other interesting insights for you?
I just thought the 2-player thing was interesting because normally for me, it's somewhere between a quarter and a third of the games I play at 2 players.
Okay.
But in September, it was just a lot of 2-player games, a few more solo games than is usual, mostly just because I was playing Mr. Postmouse's Picnic until I could figure out how to beat it. But a few other solo games that I didn't actually mention in what we've been playing lately. Just little bits here and there.
Sure. All right. Let us switch over to the Family Gamers community, I think, and say hello to a couple of people that have joined. What do you think of that, Anitra?
That sounds great.
All right. I'm going to get started by saying welcome to Linda.
Welcome to Merson.
Welcome to Paul.
Paul is a magician, apparently, according to his Facebook profile.
I dig it. Magician at magician and entertainer at magician. All right.
Welcome to Rick.
Welcome to Rania.
Welcome to Morella.
Welcome to Maroof.
Welcome to Ramcharan.
And welcome to Rachel. I know Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. I hope you're listening.
Yeah. Welcome to the community. And I hope that all of you are loving fish like this adorable penguin who is saying welcome, but more importantly, playing games with your kids. So head on over to the post in the Family Gamers community and talk about some of the games that you're playing these days. Or failing that, you could answer the Backtalk post in the Family Gamers community. That's a thing that you could do.
That's also a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we asked about your favorite game in 2025. Doesn't have to be a new game, but your favorite game in this past year.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Dutzman pops in and says, Flip 7 without a doubt.
Excellent
Flip 7 is a great game.
Excellent choice.
It wasn't my favorite game that we played in 2025, but I think if I was picking a game that came out in 2025, it would be pretty close to the top of the list.
It would not be the top of my list, but...
what would be the top of your list?
Floristry, because the game technically came out in 2025.
It's not about coming out. It's about the game you played.
I know. Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're limiting it to games that came out in 2025, Flip 7 makes the 2025 cut, but does not make, best of the year.
Sure. Okay, that's fair.
On the Discord, Bobandi says the best new to him game of the year so far is The White Castle. I've heard a lot of good things about
Yeah, so have I. It's a kind of a smallish box game from Devir.
And then he says, the best new to me family game so far this year, Flip 7.
There you go.
And he is completely right. He says, it is so much fun and anyone can play. And I agree.
All right. Courtney White on the Facebook says, I think Ito is our favorite new to us game so far in 2025, but we just started Ticket to Ride Legacy this weekend, which will likely end up overtaking it. That's interesting. So we have some friends who are huge Ticket to Ride people, and they've played through like 90% of TTR Legacy, and I think they've, no pun intended, run out of steam.
Run off the rails.
I just ran out of steam.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. There are very few Legacy games that you or I have played that we've finished.
Mm-hmm. I'm still trying to, with the same friend, by the way, play through the last mission of Pandemic Legacy Season 0. It's been like 3 years, but the three of us that are playing it just can't seem to get together.
Yeah. On the Discord, Peter Schott says he can't remember if he started Let's Go to Japan this year or last year, but it's definitely up there in the top few. Flip 7 was also a hit. Wayfarer's Tale was an unexpected hit as well. And then he goes on some more. He's like, and you know what? It's hard to pick a best, but he'd lean towards Let's Go to Japan. Just a little bit more than all the rest.
We had fun when we played that game. That game was a fun game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, next on Facebook is Nick Martinelli, who cheated and put his answers on both Facebook and Discord.
At least it's the same answer on both.
It is right. The first one on this list is The Lord of the Rings, the trick-taking game. When I bought Bomb Busters, I also bought a copy of this, by the way. We haven't gotten a chance to play it.
Yes.
But he says it's the most amazing trick-taking game he's played this year, oozing with theme and melds perfectly with mechanics. He also mentions Flip 7, the hottest and most family-friendly card game that's come out in the past few years. Super simple, portable, and will get people cheering and groaning at the table. He also mentions My Shelfie, the dice game. Very fun dice game that his daughter keeps slaying him at. We spent a bunch of my lunch hours this summer playing, and she beat me pretty much every single time. Good for you, Izzy.
Nick wrote a review of My Shelfie, the dice game, that is up on the Family Gamers website. Honestly, it got me to try the game on Board Game Arena.
Mm-hmm.
I have really been enjoying it as well. It scratches just the right puzzle itch without being very long.
Okay. We played our game of regular My Shelfie on.
Yeah, that was kind of long.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't bad.
Anyway.
But
right.
Yeah, I have to be pedantic for a moment. The full name of the game is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking game. Specifically, it's The Fellowship of the Ring. I'm a pedant.
I actually think I've heard that there's a Two Towers game coming out, so sure.
So back to the Discord. Ken Walter says, my 2025 list is Marvel Dice Throne Missions, Flip 7, Harmonies, and Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth.
So I saw that one at the store too. That is the Seven Wonders Duel, but themed Lord of the Rings. And I've actually heard very, very good things about that too. But I also remember that we moved on from our copy of Seven Wonders Duel because it's so easy to play on Board Game Arena. And I just didn't see us putting it out on the table. So I hear you, man. I heard good things about it as well. Ken also mentions the game Scales of Fate, which I know nothing about, as a game that he's looking forward to getting later in the year.
Adrian mentioned some favorites from this year and split it into 3 categories. For a larger game, Moon Colony Bloodbath. I had not heard of this one. She says it's fun to build up your colony and then try to hang on for dear life as they all get wiped out. For a small game, she says, Otter. It's a shedding card game with multiple places where you can put cards based on the rules, but you can switch stuff around if you don't mind taking on more cards. And very cute artwork. And she says that her favorites from first physical play was Space Base. She says, I've played it a bunch of times on Board Game Arena, but I finally got to play this dice rolling and everyone gets stuff game in person this year for the first time.
Yeah, these kinds of games are great. Machikoro was the first one of these, and then Space Base and all of the Valeria games came out. I mean, I think Machikoro suffered from the same fate as Dominion, where the genre that it kind of created, in my opinion, kind of grew past it.
Sure, yeah.
Nothing else on Facebook, so I'll just round out our Discord. JP DeCoste says Toy Battle has been an absolute delight for myself and the kids. Can't think of any new games that got him as hyped to play over and over again as that one. Lots of great games. I gotta say, I think Flip 7, easily takes the cake with the most mentions. So we will
there's a lot.
Unofficially nominate Flip 7 as the Family Gamers community's favorite game of 2025. How's that sound?
I think that seems reasonable.
All right. I have another back talk question waiting for us at the end of the show, but you don't get to hear that quite yet. So we're going to take a very quick break, and then when we come back, we are going to talk about our top 15-minute games.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
During the break, I did a little bit of what we call research in the biz, and Bomb Busters actually did win the spiel. So I did want to give it its due. The thing that I was confused about is that it won the spiel the same time it was this year that Endeavor Deep Sea won the Kenner Spiel.
Right.
So
we were paying more attention.
I was way more interested in the fact that friend of the show, Mark Spector, and Grand Gamers Guild, as part of Burnt Island Games with other friend of the show, Helena Capel, won, one of the most prestigious honors in board games. It's a thing. It got me distracted. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But we are going to talk about some 15-minute games, of which really neither Bomb Busters nor Endeavor Deep Sea is, but we have 10 games or so that are.
Yeah, this is a top 10-ish list.
It's that thing we do.
Because sometimes the way life goes, you just don't have a lot of time to play games, but you do have a little bit of time.
A little bit of time.
Sometimes it's just easier to play games that only fill that little bit.
Mm-hmm. It is also harder to find games that support large player counts and still play fast.
Yes, so we do have a couple.
What we did was we went, half of our games are 2-player only games. I'll just say it out, like that. So we have 5 games that are larger group games, 5 games that are 2-player games, and then Anitra has a solo game.
Yes, I limited myself to one.
That's the ish of it all.
So let's start with the ones that you can do in a group. All of these games go up to at least 5 players. Some of them go higher.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Trio obviously had to make the list.
Sure. I mean, Trio makes basically every list now. So,
I mean, Trio's just a great fit for a lot of people. It's not hard to learn, but it's got this combination of luck and deduction and memory that makes it kind of work for just about everybody, because it's not just one skill. You can't get by with just memory. Mm-hmm. It's not just luck. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I will say, teasing, that Trio is a bad answer for our backtalk question this week.
Okay.
So hopefully everybody is now like, whoa, something that Trio's not good at? Oh, interesting.
I mean, I think all of these games might be a bad answer.
That's true. That's true. Next game on the list is a game about fleas that we like very much, the game Circus Flocati.
So one of the things I absolutely love about Circus Flocati is this is one of those games you can teach through playing the first, hand or two of like, literally you just flip out a card and then you can flip out some more cards. And if you get a double, you bust. If you stop before you bust, you choose one card that's out there. Mm-hmm. That's it. There's some scoring rules. That is the entire game. And it can accommodate a fairly large number of players. I think it's like 6, maybe? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then speaking of accommodating large player counts and also being very fast.
Fairly fast.
We keep coming back to Get the MacGuffin.
Yep. This is from Looney Labs.
From Looney Labs. It feels kind of like Flux. It's got that really goofiness to it, but it's also got a very defined endpoint. You're going to keep playing and discarding cards from your hand, and nobody has more than about 4 or 5 cards, so it's only going to be a couple of rounds. Mm-hmm. And the way it comes in the box, you can play with up to, I think it's 11 players.
There's a lot of players.
And it's still going to be fast, because if you're playing with 11 players, everybody gets like 2 cards. This is a game that is like 90% luck, 5% messing with other people, and 5% strategy.
Okay, sure. I guess, sure.
It really is one of those where it's just, the goal is to have fun. Mm-hmm.
Another game in which the goal is to have fun is the game Strike. We have mentioned this a couple of times in the past few episodes, maybe once in the past few episodes.
Yeah.
It's just a dice chucker into a little cardboard and plastic arena. You are trying to be the last one that has any dice left, basically.
Yeah, some rules about like how you can pull dice back out of the arena. It's really simple to learn. It's really simple to play. It's the kind of game where people cheer and groan, even if they're not the ones currently in the game.
Right.
And our last one on the multiplayer larger group list is another perennial family gamer's favorite, Similo.
Yeah, I saw that at Essen this year, they're doing the board game
Similo again.
Deck again, which is pretty cool. We have one of those from the one time I went to Essen. Similo is just a really interesting and unique game about clue giving. You have one clue giver and everybody else is trying to figure out who the selected card or what the selected card is that is the, I don't know, the target card. I don't even know what they call it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really, really interesting to listen to people try to deduce what cards have in common or don't have in common when you're the clue giver and you have to, hide your face unless you have an excellent poker face. So
just feel like I can't watch you guys anymore, but I have to listen to what you're saying as you think through your options. Similo is really unique in that it can be any number of players because it's cooperative, like minimum 2, maximum however many can see the table. You don't need to be able to read to play. This is literally an everybody can play in every sense of the word. If you can see and you have some power of deduction, you can play.
Right. Hey, since you added one, more than 10 as a little cheat, can I add one too?
Sure.
If you have a large group and you play such that the clue guesser has to go all the way around the table, it might not fit 15 minutes, but I'm going to put just one on this list.
Oh, sure.
Because if you just play 2 or 3 rounds of just one, it's easily going to fit within this 15-minute time frame. It's a really great game that you can just bring people in and incorporate people. It's a lot of fun. I really like it.
Yeah, I think a full game of just one, which is, I think, 13 cards or something like that, would probably take you more than 15 minutes, but cut the game length in half, and then it takes you 15 minutes.
I think you can totally do it.
Yeah. We did find that there are quite a few 2-player games, specifically in our family, that come out when we're like, man, I just want to play a game, and I know we don't have a lot of time. Will you play this game with
Duel for Cardia, for example.
That did make the list, yes.
Well, I mean, it had to. Like, we mentioned it at the first half of the show.
Well, I mean, Duel for Cardia is one of those, like, there are a lot of dueling card games that we will play. But Duel for Cardia, it is great in that it's a very small deck. There's no choices to make, really, at the beginning of the game. It's like, are we going to play with deck A or deck B? Okay, grab the deck, shuffle, let's go. Even when you're new to it, the teach is not that complicated because every card says what it does for the most part.
Sure. I think maybe if you're going to play a proper 3-round game of Duel for Cardia, it might take a little bit longer than 15 minutes. Sort of like with just one. If you play like 13 whole cards, it might take a little bit longer. But this is a game you can play 1 round of it for sure without a problem.
I would say, in my experience, most of the time with, best 2 out of 3, most of the time it's 1 and 2 rounds. And 2 rounds of Duel for Cardia should only take you 15 minutes.
Right. What's the next 2-player game, Anitra? This
is a date breakfast favorite for you and I, which is Jekyll vs. Hyde.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a 10-trick-taking game that lasts for 3 rounds. So you're playing a total of 30 tricks if you get that far. So again, this is right on that upper end limit. You could play a game of Jekyll vs. Hyde that lasts more than 15 minutes, but it's still probably not going to last more than about 20? No, see,
25?
No, I don't agree. I think a game of Jekyll vs. Hyde, even if you play a full 3 rounds, is still going to be less than 15 minutes, unless you're like playing 2 tricks and then stopping and talking for a while and then coming back to it. Like if you're playing the game, it's less than 15
If you're super focused, all right.
I can buy that. Just regular focused. I mean, there's a lot of games you could slam through in 15 minutes if you're super focused on them. But I just mean just regular focus on this game. And yeah, I think you could easily play it in 15 minutes.
I can see that.
That's why I permitted it to remain on the list.
Are you the one in charge of this list now?
No. But
But of course, with these 2-player games that we talked about, we have to include our new date breakfast favorite, which is Floristry.
Well, Floristry is, I think, the game that you said was your best game that you've played this year.
It is, yes.
And it definitely takes less than 15 minutes to play.
It definitely takes less than 15 minutes to play.
Unless you're playing and stopping. Floristry especially because it's a very easy game to like kind of pause while you're doing something like, I don't know, eating breakfast. But yeah, if you're just playing a game, it definitely 15 minutes.
So in case you have been under a rock and have not heard us talking about Floristry in the past.
Under some flowers.
Sure. If you're hiding under flowers and have not heard us talk about Floristry, Floristry is a Dutch auction and tile placement game for 2 players. There is a small app, really a website, needed to assist in the playing of the game because a Dutch auction is sort of a game of chicken, that the price steadily but slowly goes down until someone pulls the trigger and says, okay, I want it at this price.
Mm-hmm.
The app takes care of all of the timing issues, all of the money. So the only pieces in this game are these little flower tiles, which are like dominoes. They have 2 flowers on them. Every round, one of the 2 players will decide their threshold and tap the app when they're ready to bid. And they will end up with 3 of the 4 flower tiles that are out of their choice. The other one goes to the losing player, and you are trying to make large groups of each kind of flower. The larger the group, the more points you get, but it's a threshold style, so there's a little bit more strategy in there than just make the biggest group of all the flowers that you can.
Because you can't make all of the groups and you can't buy all of the flowers.
Right, but it's also like, okay, well, I could make this group go from, 6 to 7, but I could make that group over there go from 11 to 12. Well, that's a better deal, right? Because from 6 to 7 is staying within the same threshold, but from 11 to 12 pops you up to a new
and
point
it depends
level.
on where you are in the game. And
right.
To a degree, it depends on, is your opponent also working on that flower type?
Right.
Because then it's going to be a stiffer fight. And so sometimes you want to relent, but sometimes it's worth it to push back. So
I love when you called this the Aldi of board games, that there's a ton in here, but everything is stripped down to the absolute simplest version of this kind of decision making that it could be.
Yep. All right, so the next game on the list, I really kind of think this is representing kind of all of the Gigamic abstract games, but the favorite in this household is Quarto.
Yeah, Quarto is one that any one of our kids will be like, I want to play a game for 5 minutes. Let's play Quarto.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's a super simple idea that you're looking for 4 in a row. But I think all of our kids love this push and pull that nobody owns the pieces. So you're trying to kind of sneakily set things up so that your opponent will have to give you a piece that will allow you to win by making 4 in a row.
Yep.
And I'm just going to add one solo game on the end here, because sometimes you want to play a game, but you don't have much time. And you don't have anybody who wants to play with you.
Or you don't like anybody.
Or you're all alone somewhere and you're just being a grump. But
well, I mean, look, sometimes, you can like people and then just like, right now I don't like anybody.
Right now I just want to be alone, but I don't want to be so alone with my thoughts, so I'll play a game. And I think my top choice for that has got to be A Gentle Rain. Really simple to get started. It never takes me more than 15 minutes. And importantly, it is kind of inviting as a cooperative game as well. So if I'm sitting down playing this and somebody comes and sits next to me, I don't feel like I have to start all over again. I can just include them and be like, oh, well, here's the next tile off the stack. Do you want to place it?
And I know you've done that with our kids.
So. I have.
So that's our list. I mean, most of these games are games that we've talked about before, so we don't really have to go into a whole lot of detail.
For a lot of these games, we've written reviews or talked about them before. I will have links to more information for pretty much all of them in the show notes. Mm-hmm. If we went by too fast and you're like, wait, what was that game? I'm not sure.
I mean, listen, it's a podcast. You can rewind. Please be kind. I'm just kidding. There will be lots of stuff in the show notes. But let's talk about our new Backtalk question. So this is really curiosity for me about the community. And the question is, what's the heaviest game you own? We played Tesla vs. Edison a little while ago, and I was surprised to see that it was a 3.24.
It was only 3.2.
No, I thought it was lower than that.
Okay.
But that is actually not the heaviest game that we own. I didn't run everything that we own through, but I kind of picked a few that I thought were the more complicated ones.
Mm-hmm.
So if you went on Board Game Geek and looked at the game weight of your games, what is your heaviest game, or what do you think it is? Like, I don't need someone to go through and look up 2,000 games. That would be terrible.
Yeah, please don't.
For us, the heaviest one that I found was actually Keyflower. I looked up Castles of Burgundy and Lacrimosa. I looked up 3.17. Tesla vs. Edison 3.24. I looked up Campaign-Tro, which is like 2.7 something. But Keyflower came in at 3.34.
Interesting.
as game weight.
Also, I'm going to say that is totally the wrong weight for Campaign Trail. It's definitely above 3, but that's fine.
I think it feels like it should be more complicated because it's so long.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's just one of those once you get into the game loop, it's pretty obvious what you should do next.
I don't even think it's that. I just don't think, like, it's not complicated in the same way that you rank things from a board game complex
Sure.
kind of thing. I don't know. But anyway, so that's it. What is the heaviest game you own / what do you think it is? That's the question for this week. Where, Anitra, can people tell us the answers to their questions?
Well, we will post up specifically a Back Talk question post on our Facebook community. Mm-hmm. We'll also put some stuff in the Back Talk channel on Discord. The Discord we share with a number of other family board game content creators. It's called the Family Tabletop Community. There's an invitation link in every single show episode on the podcast, but you can also just go to thefamilygamers.com/Discord.
Mm-hmm. For the Facebook community, you can go to thefamilygamers.com/community, or you can head to Facebook and just search for the Family Gamers community. Not hard to find.
Yeah.
Of course, you can hit us up all over social media: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, and YouTube.
Oh my.
At Family Gamers AA for Andrew and Anitra. You can also find us on YouTube as The Family Gamers.
Our last, at this point, I think 20 podcast episodes are on YouTube. So that's also a good way to find this content if that's how you want to listen.
You can stream it through YouTube Music.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to contact us directly, you can also email us.
Andrew at thefamilygamers.com.
Anitra at thefamilygamers.com.
Please don't forget to subscribe to this show, tell your friends about the show, and leave us a review at Apple Podcast or whatever your podcast subscription source is. Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, and, like I said, YouTube Music.
Overcast, all the things.
Whatever.
Wherever fine podcasts are given away for free.
Yep, that's the thing.
As always, the Family Gamers podcast has been sponsored by First Move Financial. Go to firstmovefinancial.com/familygamers and learn how the team at First Move Financial can help you pile up the victory points.
We all like victory points.
Yes.
Well, Anitra, I think we have more than 15 minutes before the next show, but I still think there's a lot of game to play.
Maybe we should go do that. But for everybody else, until next time,
play games with your kids.